Today's question is, what if my train driver sleeps? In the current period where safety is of utmost importance, it is a very natural question. What if my train driver sleeps? Or what if he misses one signal? Or what if he's not paying attention? Well, companies have worked to develop different systems to upgrade the safety, and the system varies from country to country. Today I would speak a bit about the systems in other countries, but I would like to focus mainly regarding the systems in Germany. Even though each country has its own system and its own mechanism, but the main point is to stop the train from outside. So if the driver is not able to stop the train or can't stop the train, then someone from outside should be able to stop it. Now the Germans in the 1940s came up with a system called as Indusi. They named it as I60, and there was an upgraded version called as I60R. They later moved on to PZB and LZB. I will start with the earlier system, talking about Indusi.
As you see in this picture, you see two different units. One is on the track and another one is on the train. Now these units enable the train to be stopped from outside. I won't go into the working or technical details of them. It's just that the unit on the train sends electromagnetic signal and they are of different frequencies. And you will see that on the track there are different magnets of different frequencies. At the main signal you will generally have a magnet of 2000 Hz, and on the signal before the main signal generally you have a magnet of 1000 Hz, and in between you may have a magnet of 500 Hz. So here you see that we have speed on this axis and we have distance on this axis, and this is the main signal. What happens generally is you don't directly come to the main signal. You have a distance signal which tells you what your next signal will be. So let's say we have a system where the driver didn't notice the signal. What would happen is this: he would keep driving at his normal speed and suddenly he would come across, and then he needs to brake, but this should already create a crash. What happens generally in the system is that the train is coming, it sees the stop and like this. So it has two distinct features, that after 20 seconds it checks whether the speed is 95, and at 500 Hz magnet the speed should be 65 or less. And if the speed is more than 95 after 20 seconds, then there is a braking, which, let's say if the speed is a bit more than 95, it will come to a brake. And if the speed is more than 65 after the 500 Hz magnet, so you are going, suddenly you decide to accelerate, but you see at 500 Hz magnet, if the speed is more than 65, again it will brake. Now the disadvantage of the system is that its speed check is only at 2 points. It's not a curve. So let's say if the driver didn't see the signal, he would keep on going, and after 20 seconds you would see that the speed is more than 95 and we would brake, but it would already cross the point. But let's say the driver is going at the stated speed and he will go after 20 seconds, it's less than 95, and he comes to this point and he accelerates again, and then you see at this point it would be, so when it comes to 500 Hz it would be more than 65 and the train would stop. Now another advancement of the I60 Indusi is the I60R or Indusi 60R. Some changes are that there is a supervision up to 700 meters. So the speed is checked up to 700 meters and not only at 2 points. Now there are different classification of train, that is O, M and U. That depends upon the brake percentage, which I would go into later. But as of now there are two different trains. So a train of O, which has a brake percentage of 190%, it can go up to 165 kilometers per hour. But after 20 seconds it should be 95 kilometers and it is supervised till 700 meters. Similarly a train M, it goes from 125 kilometers till 75 kilometers and it is checked after 26 seconds. And the U train starts from 105 kilometers and it goes up to 60 kilometers and the speed is checked after 34 seconds. As I told in I60 there was speed check only at 2 points, but now there is a speed check up to 700 meters.
And if we go further ahead, at the 500 Hertz magnet, we see that the O train will be at 65 kilometers, the M at 50, and the U at 40. And at a distance of 120 meters, the M train should reach 45 kilometers and the U train should reach 45 kilometers at a distance of 180 meter from the 500 Hertz magnet. And the speed is checked up to 200 meters. So it has more advantage as compared to I-60 system, that there is a check up to 700 meters and also different speed for different types of trains. The only disadvantage as compared to other systems is that there is no check after 700 meters. So someone might go up to a higher speed after 700 meters and there is no technical infill to check if the driver is not going about the stipulated speed after 700 meters. The next system that was introduced in Germany and is still working in some parts is the PZB system. In PZB system, it is a bit similar to the I-60R system. Some changes that are made is the speed is reduced from 95 to 85 and the time after which the speed is checked is reduced from 23 seconds to 20 seconds. So after 20 seconds after this distance signal, the speed should be less than 85 kilometers per hour and it is checked till 700 meters. So if the speed goes above 85 kilometers, then the train is braked. Also another feature added is that if a train stops below 10 kilometers per hour for more than 15 seconds, then there is a difference restriction. The restriction starts at 45. So the train can't go more than 45 kilometers per hour until the next signal. As we saw in I-60R that there are 3 categories of train, but here I am only speaking about O. The same thing is applicable for the categories, that the speed is reduced a bit, which is allowed after 20 or 30 seconds, and also the time is reduced. And the feature of restrictive supervision. This feature is known as restrictive supervision. So what happens is that a manual release by driver is possible after 700 meters. So let's say that if this signal was green and you are going in a restrictive speed and you are going and the signal is green, so you can move ahead. So after this main signal up to a distance of 700 mm, you could go move above 45, but then after 700 mm a driver can press the button of manual release, and if it's possible then he can further increase his speed. Also the distance from the 500 Hz magnet to the main signal is not always 250. In this case the speed of 65 km per hour is maintained up to a distance of 153 meters and afterwards you maintain it till 45 depending upon the distance to the final signal where it could be stopped. So the advantage in this system is that you have a visual infill after 700 meters, which was not there in I-60R, and a driver has to press the manual release button, and if he stops for certain reason then he can't go above the speed of 45 kilometers. However, the disadvantage is that the capacity, I mean the number of trains which could run in the time period, is reduced significantly, and that's why we move ahead to another systems. Germany had another system called as the LZB. Now different surrounding countries had different systems. Belgium had a system called as Crocodile. So in this system the driver needed to press a button within 5 seconds once an alarm was raised that he is exceeding his speed or he has missed his signal. So the people would know he is aware and he needed to reduce his speed, otherwise the train would be braked from outside. Now in this earlier systems no power supply was needed. The equipment used to run without electrical power supply. Now similarly Italy had a system called as BACC, Switzerland had Signum. In Signum there used to be 2 magnets. One used to be on the track, in the middle of the track, and one used to be outside. Similarly Luxembourg had a system called as MEMOR and MEMOR 2. France had a system of TUM. But the issue was that the trains frequently travel in Europe from one country to another, and if the train travels in 2 countries then their train needed to have components which would be compatible with both the systems. Sometimes you need to have 2 separate components, and if a train is going in 3 or 4 countries you need to have 3 or 4 systems, because each country has a different braking system, different safety system. Now you don't even have the same frequency of power supply, so unnecessary components were added to the system. So to counter this, the participating countries of Europe came up with a system called as ETCS, that is European Train Control System. In ECTS you would have the same frequency, same features, so you don't need different components in a train. ETCS also has 3 levels, level 1, level 2 and level 3. So that was all for today. So now you know what happens if a driver sleeps and why you don't need to worry. Do let me know if you have any other questions. I would like to answer them in a simple way. Also, in this critical time, keep staying positive and I hope you keep on testing negative. Take care.